Good morning. I hope that sounds all right and looks all right. I'm really sorry about the stuttered start this morning. I was running a bit late. This morning's just been frantic. I rushed the kids to school and just rushing around. Everything was a bit, and sat down a wee bit late and started this live stream, and it couldn't detect my camera, so I had to just back out, and I'm really sorry. I'm just going to share on YouTube that I'm here, so going live on YouTube, and I'm going to link my channel because sometimes find people on Instagram pop along link. So my channel is youtube.com/@Emma Rosen Books. It's really annoying when I've set a reminder. I've scheduled it. That's the word I'm looking for. And then it doesn't work because I know that people sort of set that as a reminder. And I also had someone who dropped a question, but you're here. Hi, Mark. Thank you. I'm glad you've dropped that question again. I did see it. I'm really sorry I had to cancel that live stream. So let's see. There we go. Hi, I'm just wondering how you plan a story, a written plot line or a storyboard. Good question. So I write children's books and nonfiction. So that kind of changes. I think that's different if I was writing a novel. For a children's book, I know how many pages I want to have, and I will literally numbered out, and I will put what I want on each page, like what will navigate through the story. So for instance, with Captivating Kelp Forest, then I might have like page 1, introduce the story, page 2, I can't, you'd think I could remember what was in it, but what is kelp, page 3, what lives in kelp, and so on, or like page 4, 5, and 6, what lives in kelp, just so I broadly know what I'm doing. And then it might say like what lives in kelp, seal, what lives in kelp, fish, and so I can figure out where I'm going. And I did the same with Milk and Cookies. It was like each page, this is going to happen and this is going to happen, but because it's fitting with an illustration, I also note out what in my head the illustration is. So then that's how I'd work through that. If it was non-fiction, so for self-publishing, for example, I literally had a list of how I wanted to go through it. So I was going to go from editing, and then formatting, and then design, and sort of how I was going to walk through the process. And my book Milk was my own personal experience, so that was sort of chronological. So I think for me, I do have like written notes, but that is all it is. It's just like this is how you're going to step through the story. The novel that I'm writing I wrote fairly organically, and I think that's part of the issue, is I'm now moving everything around and trying to piece it together so it's better, because at the moment it's like a 5-year-old wrote it. So yeah, it's not like a written plot. I suppose it's a bit like a storyboard, because for me it's like page by page what happens. I hope that helps. I'd love to know how you guys work. We all work really differently, and I think it depends on each project. Even the karate book I'm working on, I've literally got my working document has chapter headings and then a sentence of what's going to be in that chapter, or subheadings that I then go back and fill in. I think it's just how my brain works. I'm quite methodical, so it's sort of step by step. That's how I work on that one. But as always, I'd love to know what you guys are working on today. What are you planning to do during these sprints? If you're joining me not live, I would still like to know. And I'd love to know how your weekend is and all that stuff. Weekend was. I had a really lovely weekend, actually. Excuse me, a really lovely weekend. I had a gig on Saturday night, which was pleasant. I'm in a band, if you guys didn't know, a rock covers band, so that was nice. And then Sunday was just a real Sunday kind of Sunday, if you know what I mean. Just lots of like doing homework and reading and crafts and chilling. It was very pleasant. And some cooking. I think because I'm not teaching, I've got a bit more brain space to sort of want to actually cook things from scratch that I've been buying. And I prefer the sort of homemade versions, so things like that, or just feeling inspired to try things. So that's been really nice. Yeah, that was my weekend. I've also been working on Facebook ads. That is my latest thing that I'm trying to make work. And I just feel like I'm just hemorrhaging money and not really earning anything. I've learned a lot, but have yet to make it work. I feel like I'm getting there. I'm experimenting with something at the moment, but I really don't know. We'll see. Mark says, I've written Mammal Mayhem as a story and then drew the storyboard. Cool. Storyboard was so large that one story has now been cut into 3 parts. Yeah, I mean, sure, these things evolve, don't they? I think it's super interesting how we all work. So I'm going to be working on the karate book today. We're going to do 3 lots of 15 minutes as usual. And let's just get into it. So as usual, I'm going to pop myself on mute. I will see you back here in 15 minutes. There we go. I wasn't sure that the unmute had worked. That's the end of our 15 minutes. How you getting on? Let's take a break. I have just started looking through my manuscript, deciding where I'm going to start, doing a little bit of research. So no words down, but just getting my head back in the game. Let me know what you're doing. Work-wise, things are really good for me at the moment, I think, because I've taken January off of teaching. That has meant I've managed to get on top of lots of other things. I think probably after this week, I'll be offering myself back up for teaching. And it's been really nice to feel more productive, to feel less like stressed that I'm never on top of anything. Yeah, it's been really good. And I've been able to research things that I'd wanted to research and get my head around things that I wanted to get my head around. So I've been, as well as getting the soil book ready, which it pretty much is, I've also been sorting out things like, as I said, my Facebook ads. What else have I been up to? Just like some business admin-y things. Like I was researching GPSR, which I'm going to be making a video about this week. Yeah, stuff that needed to be done. So I'm going to have one more week of, I need to send the soil book off because it's now done, bar literally one little thing, and I'll send it away, even if I'm going to send it tomorrow either way. And then I've got to sort out some audiobooks that I had recorded before Christmas, and I've only edited one of them, so I need to edit the others. They're only children's books, they don't take long, I just haven't done it. So once I've done that, then I feel like that will be kind of on top of things. And then I'm going to do a little bit of teaching over the next few months. And then I don't really know after that, because it really depends on how things are panning out financially as to what decisions I make after this tax year. So I don't know, but it's this being able to take January off is literally why I work super flexibly, is so that I can make decisions like that. So it's been really nice. And yeah, I am a lot more on top of things, and hopefully the soil book will be finished up soon. And yeah, just like looking for opportunities and networking and sorting my social media out and stuff, instead of running at 100 miles an hour and kind of going, oh, I must do that and I must do that. And I'm like, it's just been nice. It's been like more organized and targeted. So it's been good. How about you guys? What are you up to? How are things going for you business wise? I think I said this in, I think it was a recent main channel video. For me, there's this energy that I feel I'm at a tipping point where lots of things I've been putting in place are going to move forward. But I mean, you never know with these things. We can, but keep trying. Some videos that I'm planning to do. I'm going to do one on GPSR. I want to do one about Facebook ads. I've learned so much, but I need to get them working, and getting them working costs money. So there's that. Hopefully it might, this is like the ad I've got running at the minute is my last idea really for why things haven't been working up till now. So I'm just letting it sit for a couple of days and see what happens. So yeah, I would like to do that and share the things I've learned, providing they work. Otherwise there's no point, right? And what else am I planning to make videos on? Was going to make a video talking about why, sort of, when you bring out your first book and you kind of think everything's going to take off, and it takes ages and ages and ages, and the various reasons why sort of one book doesn't make a career, and just being in that industry for a short time doesn't make a career. I thought that would be helpful for people who are just starting out, which lots of those people watch this channel, and to sort of share, on one hand, reassuringly, like it's okay if you're not there, that's fine. But if you're trying to move towards, furthering your business, then these are the things you haven't done, if that makes sense. So I was thinking of doing something along those lines. I have got a big list. I've got about 15 videos saved in a list on my phone, but those are the ones that are feeling like what I might make over the next few weeks. As well as I've been reading a lot more, and I might bring back the monthly reading wrap-ups, possibly, or maybe bi-monthly, or maybe just when I feel like it, like I have been doing. I don't really know. Yeah, because it was nice doing monthly reading wrap-ups, and I've changed my lifestyle, I guess, is that the right word, a little bit, that I'm reading more, I'm monitoring my phone usage, I'm reading before bed, stuff like that. So I am reading a little bit more, which is really nice and really good for the brain. Mark says, Mammal Mayhem is an escape when I'm not caring for elderly parents. Yeah. I also have 2 Jack Russell girls, so I receive a lot of love unless I'm trying to get them out of bed in the morning. Yeah, I'm feeling that I have a very naughty lurcher who is one of the reasons why I was late this morning, because she got into my son's room and was eating everything out of his bin. So there is that. Yeah, writing is an escape. It's good for our brains. And I'm really, really passionate about how important it is, and to take the fear away from reading and writing, that you don't have to be some like academic, or you don't have to be really good at it. You can just do it because you like it, and you can read trash and you can write trash, and you write stuff that will never get published. You can write things that you just want to write. You can just scrawl all over a page, and that's all really good. And it still has value. Something doesn't have to be like a published piece of art, or for it to be important. If it's important to you, just do it. I feel like almost if you write something, people are like, oh, you're going to publish that. You don't have to. You can write a story just because you want to write a story and it's fun. The same as you could paint a picture just because you want to, or you can make a jumper for yourself. You don't have to start a business making jumpers for everybody else. Yeah, I just think it's important. Anyway, let's get into some more writing. Let's do another 15 minutes. So here is the banner, and I'm going to put myself on mute. Chat again here in a bit. Gosh, that went quickly. That was another 15 minutes. Let's have a little break for 5 minutes or so. I wrote a good old chunk of this book. What did I do? 400 words. It's pretty good for me for 15 minutes. I was on a bit of a roll on a subject. The way this book is working for me, as I said at the beginning of this live stream, is I've got headings, and then whenever I have a writing session, I just sort of sit down and see what I feel like writing. And then if I'm in the mood for it, then I can just kind of roll with what I want to say. And then at some point, there'll be enough of all of that I can then go back through and edit and add in sources. Sometimes I do research as I go, but I don't always. Sometimes I just write everything down that I know, and then I can check it later and back everything up. So it depends. But I find, I'm sure we all know this, that it is easier to just get the words down, just do the hard thing and fill the paper and edit it afterwards. I find that a much easier way of working. So I'm still in the writing phase. The novel I've written is written. I mean, the editing phase is just a long, slow editing phase that has been going on for many years. But I have other projects on the boil as well at the moment. I've got another children's book that my sister-in-law is illustrating. So that's exciting. I might message her later actually and see how she's getting on. And if she needs any help with like resources sent over to her or anything like that, that's exciting. And some other possible children's books projects that I'm in the conversation stage for. So there's lots going on. And as always, as I always say on these live streams, it's a case of time, really, more than anything else. But I really feel like at the end of this week, I will be on top of things. And do you know what? That has helped my mental health so much. I don't think I felt as calm as I do at the moment for a very, very long time. I want to make a video about this as well, because I think one aspect is the fact that I am not stressed out trying to balance too many things. I'm just making progress and things are going quite well. It all just feels quite positive. So that's good. That's one thing. And then there's the little lifestyle things that I've been doing, like just eating a bit better and reading a bit more and not scrolling as much. I think that's all good stuff. Just kind of feel pretty good in my skin at the moment, which is really nice. And I wanted to make a video of some of the things I've done, because I just feel like we all go through those phases where we're really not okay in our own skin. And just trying things can help sometimes. So I thought that might be a helpful thing to do, because personally, I have no idea how I come across in videos. I am a fairly self-assured person. I know what I want and I am very motivated to do what I want to do. So in that respect, I'm quite confident. But I second guess myself a lot. I am very chaotic sometimes in the way that I work, and then that stresses me out. I probably have undiagnosed ADHD. I can be very all over the place. But then I also have a lot of systems that I put into place to help me cope. And then when those systems are difficult to follow, for example, because I'm trying to balance lots of things, then I find that really hard. And so I can get very, very anxious about things and can feel that I'm really not, getting anywhere, or like just feel a bit rubbish. And equally, like in a family life context, we have a really busy family. So I've got 3 children and a dog, so things can be really chaotic here. And there's a lot to keep on top of, and to try and make sure that everybody is like, looked after, all the food is cooked, all the things are like, I don't do all the cooking, don't get me wrong, but like the things in the house are sorted and everybody's got what they need when they need it, and that we're spending quality time with everyone, and we're booking all the things that need to be booked, and we're, all of the things that my husband and I do, that just sometimes when life is particularly busy, it can be really hard to keep on top of all of that, and then you feel guilty. So I'm definitely somebody that can go through phases of being really, really anxious and stressed and frustrated. And there's definitely, when I was working on Milk and Cookies in particular, that was really, really bad. My anxiety was like absolutely off the scale because of COVID as well. So I feel like all of us experience these things to some degree. Like stress is normal, anxiety is normal. And I'm really interested at the moment in how our lifestyles influence anxiety and stuff. I listened to a podcast recently that was about how we are, the fact that we're fed marketing all the time and we're fed like stuff on Instagram, you know, perfect lives and what have you, and that our lives are such that we can achieve a lot of dopamine all of the time. We can buy a thing, or we can do a thing, or we can go on our phones, or like we can access good stuff all of the time, that we become very sort of addictive and then that can create sort of anxiety. And I find that really interesting. And I was also watching the Emma Willis and Matt Willis documentary about phones with teenagers, which, because I work in schools, I also find really interesting from that context. But just thinking about the impact of the life we have, like modern life, and that when you take away, like when people go on phone, like digital detoxes, and people spend more time in nature and all those things, that how good that is for our mental health. And I think all of that is really interesting. And I can't wait to see where all of that goes, because I, being the age I am, did not have a phone when I was younger until I think I got my first phone when I was 16. So I spent my teenagehood with, you know, not having, I did have a computer. My dad was an electronics engineer, so we always had technology. My brother's an IT consultant now, so technology in our house was always a thing. So I would play computer games and stuff, but I didn't have a phone that was that constant, like I can use any app and kind of flip-flop around on different things. So I think that's interesting. And then trying to regulate my children's usage, and then looking at just all of us. And do you know what? People who know me personally will say I'm constantly on my phone. I am awful for it. And I am spending less time on my phone. Interestingly, people probably still see me on my phone a lot, because the times when I'm not using my phone are when I'm at home and chilling out. Anyway, I just think it's all very interesting. I think that the impact of modern life on our mental well-being and the sort of rising levels of all of that is really, really interesting. I don't know why I'm talking about any of this. So let's do some more writing. Last little batch of writing. So here we go. Last 15 minutes. Let's get this done. I'm going to see if I can double what I've written so far. And there we go. Sorry, I turned off my camera instead of my mute. If you saw that. So that's it. 3 lots of 15 minutes done. I wrote another... how many words? 150, so not much, but I was looking some stuff up for it. But I enjoyed it, so that's the main thing. So yeah. What have you been up to? How much have you got done? What are you working on? All of that stuff. As always, I want to know, even if you're not joining live, what did you get done? It's, it's nice to have this little community going. I will be running another of these live streams next week. It will be on Monday as usual, and hopefully I won't mess up the beginning of it. As I say, this morning my camera wasn't working. I had to restart my laptop. Don't know if it's because I updated my laptop last week. That's another thing I got done. Didn't know I needed to do it, but I got some edits back from my editor and I'd sent her a PDF. So she'd marked up the PDF in Acrobat, Adobe Acrobat, or in whatever she'd used, but I needed to read it in Adobe Acrobat. And I don't have it. I use Preview on my Mac and her edits weren't showing. So I had to download Adobe Acrobat and my laptop was like, no. So I had to update my laptop to be able to do that, to read the edits. But my laptop is running better since updating it. However, I wonder if that's what knocked my camera out on StreamYard that I use. I don't know, it just wasn't detecting it. It's fine now, but I just restarted it and it came back. But yeah, it's definitely a little bit better. I have an old MacBook, whatever it is. I can't remember what kind of MacBook it is. I used to have an Air, and this isn't that. I feel like I should know, but I don't. I can't remember. But it's quite an old one. And so I sometimes have issues with certain things not running because I can only run a certain version of iOS. But now I've updated it. Loads of stuff that wasn't working is working quite well. Like I used to have certain websites that didn't work properly on Safari because I had an older version of Safari because I had an older iOS. And I actually didn't think that my laptop could be updated beyond where it was. But it suddenly said to me, oh, an update's available. And I was like, ooh, how exciting. And I updated it. What a cool story. But, these things, they take time. It took a couple of hours to do. And it was one of those where I set it up in an evening so I'd be able to use it the next day, all nicely updated. Didn't work, did it? So I ended up having to do it during the day while I was filming and having my laptop. Anyway, I say this is all a really cool story. But these things, we talk about the time it takes to write, but that's because it also includes obviously editing and publishing and arranging opportunities to sell your books and running ads, but also laptops breaking, needing updating, programs not working, all that stuff as well. It's all time consuming. So yeah, anyway, I hope that today was useful. It was useful for me. I got, something like 600-700 words down and it all adds up. So I am grateful for that. I am now going to head off. I've got a list next to me, as always. I always have a list next to me when I do these. I've got a load of little jobs I need to do, bits I need to pick up in town, some bits in the food shopping that we didn't get. Also, my children ate an ungodly amount of yogurts this weekend. So I need to buy some more. They ate something like 6 yogurts in less than 24 hours. So I know that's first world problems, but it's really annoying that I now have to go back to the shop to buy some more because the little one is upset that she didn't get a fair amount. So just to stop arguments, that's one of my jobs. And yes, some social media bits that I need to do for myself, for groups I'm involved in, and also for a freelance role that I have. So that's how I'm going to spend the rest of my work day today, is freelance. Obviously getting yogurts is not part of my work day. Freelance social media, and then I'm popping out for the afternoon, as I usually do, because I do some volunteer work on a Monday afternoon. Okay, so I will see you here next week. I will schedule the thing. By the way, if I've scheduled a live stream and as what happened today happens and it's suddenly just like, it's not there, like I go live and then it disappears, I'll be coming back. And if I wasn't going to come back, I would put on the community tab on my YouTube, sorry, I've got a problem, and that it would be on there. So I would let you know. It wouldn't just vanish. But in general, I've got a problem with my laptop or something. I've had to go off because my dog's been doing something ridiculous and I need to deal with it. I once ended live stream because somebody knocked on the door and I needed to deal with it. I had like loads of building work and stuff going on. ended the live stream, dealt with the guys, did what needed to be done, accepted a delivery, all of this turnaround, and the live was still running. But fortunately, no one was there. So I don't know who got to, if anyone did join me for my accepting of deliveries, but I don't think they did. I mean, maybe that would have been fun. Right, I'm going to go. Have a lovely week. As I say, a video got this weekend probably about the GPSR regulations. So if you want to know about that, there'll be a video about that. And yeah, I'll be here for another writing sprint live stream next week. Have a lovely week. I'll see you all soon. Take care.